following the passing of a loved one. Hi, I'm Alec Osland, an attorney at Yanowitz Law Firm, where we've been assisting families for 30 years with wills, trusts, and probate. A loved one's passed away. What are you supposed to do next? Who are you supposed to contact? How soon do I need to contact these people? Essentially, what do I need to do? These are all questions that I get from clients when a loved one has passed away. The first thing I always say is you need to start the grieving process. The laws are set up where nothing needs to be done immediately. I get a lot of phone calls the day of, the day after, and my answer is always take a couple days, talk with family. You need to grieve the loss of a loved one. The laws are set up so you don't have to have everything and start the process the following day. You need to take some time. When someone passes away, my answer is always, okay, hey, notify the rest of the family, notify friends, probably meet with the funeral home. Did the decedent, did they leave funeral instructions on what they want their funeral to look like? If they didn't, you'll be able to speak with the funeral home and make arrangements that they would want. They'll also need to create an obituary and get that published. For our clients, we give them a document that talks about the remembrances and services that they wish to have, because I hear a lot from clients after they lose a loved one. Writing that obituary was hard because they want to make sure they include everything, but they may not know everything. It is important that you do fill that document out so that your loved ones have an idea what you'd like your obituary to say. Following that, you want to start meeting with the team that you're going to need and start gathering information. So I always recommend that you get a couple death certificates. I always recommend at least 5 when you have that option when looking at ordering the death certificates. If there is a safety deposit box, you want to go ahead and try to get into that. You want to start forwarding mail through the USPS. The big thing is also if they own real estate or if they live somewhere, you want to make sure that home is secure. You don't want anybody starting to squat in there and you want to steal any valuables out of the house. So you want to make sure the house is secure. And you also want to cancel credit cards. A lot of people these days have auto billing set up on subscriptions for certain things. And if someone has passed away, they don't need to keep that Netflix subscription every month. So we want to go ahead and cancel those cards so that payments stop. You also want to notify the property and casualty insurance company so they're aware of the situation. Also, you want to go ahead and schedule that appointment with the attorney, to find out, okay, what are the next steps that need to be done? Also, in conjunction with this, you want to reach out to the financial advisor as well as the CPA. These all need to happen around the same time so everybody can kind of get on the same page. But essentially, the attorney advisor and the CPA all work together as a team, because now we're going through this administration. We have to make sure that we're doing everything how it should be done and that there are no consequences for moving an asset when we shouldn't. For example, if we have an estate plan that is set up to have a disclaimer estate plan, that we need to fund assets through a credit shelter trust after they're disclaimed by a spouse, we want to make sure that we get that disclaimer taken care of prior to moving those assets into that surviving spouse's name. Because if we move assets into a surviving spouse's name, there's not an undo button where we can take that back to then run it through a credit shelter trust to get the trust protection that was set up in the estate planning documents. So the big takeaway with that is before you move an asset out of the deceased's name, we need to verify with the attorney, with the CPA, and with the advisor, hey, I'm going to start moving assets out. Is that advisable? Are there any consequences to doing so? Because once it's out, we can't put it back in. It's kind of like a tube of toothpaste. We can't put the toothpaste back in the tube after it's out. If you take one thing away from this video is if you are going to move assets out of someone's estate into another individual's name, please make sure that you talk with the team that you're working with, because there may be dire consequences if you do that preemptively. After you've met with the team, you want to start gathering up the important documents of the deceased, so their will, trust, if they have any insurance policies, start gathering the financial accounts, the investments, bank statements, and any other records. And hopefully, if they have been working with an advisor and CPA and a law firm, hopefully all of those records are nice and organized and everybody has multiple copies of everything. And then you're not digging through their mail for the next year, hoping that you are getting all the accounts and nothing goes missing. Following that, we generally set up another appointment with our clients. We give them a checklist of things that need to be done and a timeline for the expectations for the information of when it's needed. Looking at maybe around 2 months after someone's passed away, at that point, we want to start getting values of the property. We're going to start paying off debt of the decedent. We need to start looking at, okay, do we need to start preparing to file tax returns? We want to look at the household possessions and the tangible property. How are these going to be distributed per the estate planning documents? We also want to look at the real estate that is in the estate. Does it make more sense to hold on to this? Do we want to get it on the market right away? Do we have family members who'd like to purchase it? And we also look, what do the estate planning documents say is supposed to happen with this? A couple months later, around maybe 9 months, after the creditors have all been paid, we have everything kind of accounted for, we have done any tax returns that needed to be filed, that's when we maybe can start looking at distributing the assets. So depending on the type of administration, if it's a probate, it's going to be on the longer side, as we have to go through a whole court approval process and wait for the creditors' timeline to pass. We're kind of 9 months, probably at the quickest. But if we're doing a simple trust administration, a lot of times we can get these administered within just a few months following when someone passes away. So it's all going to depend what makes up someone's estate plan with how it's administered. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions or like to be notified about other probate, trust administration, or estate planning, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to find out when we post another video. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.